Hello, everyone. Today is Thursday, August 14th, and today is day three, week 19 of Hotel Evening and Weekend Platoon, and today we're going to be covering third-party libraries. But before we get into today's lesson, I just kind of want to go over what we covered on Tuesday, which was uh, use effect and the use of two third-party APIs. So I just kind of wanted to go over that stuff with everyone. Was anyone able to finish that assignment?
No.
No.
All right, where did we why did why were we unable to finish it? Was it just a time thing or was it a problem that we couldn't get past?
I haven't touched it since. I've just been a little busy.
Yeah, I got you. Anyone else?
Uh, yeah, I had one of the APIs working, but I didn't have time yet to attempt to do the second one.
Okay, no worries. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're actually going to cover the lesson then, but the lesson today is actually really short. So part of the challenges for today is in order of importance, finish that second API call and then implement one or two of the libraries that we're going to discuss today. That makes sense?
Sounds good.
Okay, and this is going to be pretty straightforward because implementing at least a few of the components from the libraries that we discussed today is going to be pretty easy, and you can do it right on the project that you're working on the two API project. Does that make sense? You don't have to spin up a whole new project. That work?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, can everyone see my third-party libraries GitHub?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm a little off camera today, guys. I'm feeling kind of actually pretty terrible, which is like Joe and everybody else, it seems like. There's definitely something going around because everyone I know and their mom is coughing up a lung and not feeling too great. Uh, but that's okay. We're going to push through. All right. Without reading anything, can anyone tell me in simple terms, what is a third-party library?
Uh,
Just an API.
No, no.
a library that someone else maintains.
So just code that someone else wrote that someone else maintains. Yes?
Yep.
Yes. And people think, oh, the writing part is the main thing. Not really, because typically people write it once. It's the maintaining part that's actually probably the most important part of that question, for the simple fact that code grows and it evolves as time passes, and maintaining code is really difficult. It's really time consuming. Requirements change, features change, the internet changes, how people use it changes, developers change. So that's really the difficult part, the one that really takes a lot of manpower. So there you go. Third party libraries, code that someone else wrote, that someone else, keyword here, maintains. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go over this. Over the next few days, we'll be building out a React application. You kind of are to a certain extent already doing it with the two API challenge, with many interactive elements over multiple pages of content. We'll be able to do this quickly using third-party libraries such as Material UI and React Router. So the objectives for this lesson is understand the importance of third-party libraries in React development, learn how to research and choose reliable libraries, and discover methods for importing and using third-party libraries effectively. So today, and one of the libraries that we're going to go over right here is called Material UI. Um, what is React? Someone tell me what React is in its most basic sense. Come on, we've discussed it a bunch of times. I'm not trying to trick you.
I missed the question completely. I zoned out for a second.
Okay, what is React?
React is just a front-end framework.
Yeah, it's just a front-end framework library, right? Yes?
You.
Okay, cool. We are going to use Material UI, which is also a library within React. What is weird about that statement?
Libraries within libraries.
Yeah, that's it.
Exception.
Yeah. You see what's happening here? Does everyone understand what's happening here? Conceptually, it's important to understand.
You can just nest other libraries.
Yeah. And you can do this. Why? Because everything's a what?
An object.
Yep. I haven't lost anybody thus far, have I?
Nope.
Okay. So that's exactly what's happening here. So let's look at it. All right. Why use third-party libraries in React? React is a powerful library for building user interfaces, but it doesn't cover all the functionality you might need. Third-party libraries provide pre-built solutions for common problems, saving you development time and effort. They include UI components, state management tools, data fetching utilities, and more. Today's lesson will cover the initial setup for a React application using two third-party applications, Material UI and React Router. The first challenge will expand on the initial setup, guiding you through the creation of additional component functionality using Material UI. A second challenge is available if you're able to complete the first one before the end of class. In this challenge, you'll get to choose from a list of third-party libraries to play around with. If you get to the second challenge today, that's totally fine, not required. But I really want everyone to finish their 2 API challenge, and at the very least, challenge 1 for today, which is involving Material UI. Because typically you're going to style for your personal project and your group project. Typically, people choose one of two things to style their projects with. Typically, most people use Material UI. And then the rest of the people use like React Bootstrap or Bootstrap. Make sense? Both libraries.
Yep.
So you're going to use this directly in your application. All right. So Material UI installation. Let's use Material UI to quickly set up an interactive dashboard. Start by navigating through the Material UI website to find and read about installing Material UI and its dependencies. Okay, let's see if we can use this library within another library. Yes? I can go pull this up. That did not, did it hide? Yep. All righty, cool. All right, so here I have my VS Code. And I am running on 5131. I'm running here. Yes? Everyone see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm actually just going to go inside of demo. I'm going to go inside of source. I'm going to go inside chat app JSX. And all this stuff is, don't really need any of this stuff. Just going to delete this stuff. I'm going to delete this stuff and make sure that oh, oops, sorry, I just opened the node module. So just delete this stuff. I know I don't need it. And I'm just going to return something super, super basic. Let's see what we got here. Don't need the paragraph. Let's keep the div for now. And then this stuff, don't really need. And let's keep just a paragraph that says hello world. Hello world. Can't spell. All righty. Hello world. This acting. Close enough. Yes? Hello world. Yes?
Yeah.
Close enough. All right, so we have our React application. Oh, you go and turn it off right now. It's under my folder demo. Let's look at the actual assignment. Alrighty, so let's use Material UI to quickly set up an interactive dashboard. Start by navigating to the Material UI website to find and read about installing Material UI and its dependencies. Once you're familiar with what to expect, scaffold a new React project will fight. We already did this, right? And what am I going to install within my project? One, I already took care of it, and I just showed you, hey, this is a brand new React project. There's nothing in there. I called it demo. And what am I going to do here on step 2?
I'm gonna install material MUI in material library.
Yeah, I'm going to download, I'm going to install all of these things here. And these are just little libraries inside my library. So let's go ahead and do that. I literally just copy paste it. It looks like MUI materials coming in, icons. This looks like emotion React, emotion styled, all that stuff. This looks to be a font source, Roboto. Okay, cool. Let's install this. Let's walk through the steps here. Okay, cool. Looks like I installed that stuff. If I need this count step, I can delete it. Alrighty. So you can string together multiple packages to pass to npm install, and that's what you just saw there. We'll use this to install Material UI and a few of its dependencies, right? If you run into issues running the npm run dev, be aware that there is a Babel dependency conflict with an old version of Node. I think we're on Node 22 now. Run Node and then switch versions. All right, if you run into that. Let me do an npm run dev. Make sure I don't. I'm running a newer version than this. I shouldn't have that problem. And I didn't. Cool. So mine works. Alrighty. UI project setup. Let's cure up the app.jx file by doing the following. What does it want me to do? Just delete all this stuff, right?
Yep.
And that's assets react SV. So if I go in here and I go into assets, it doesn't want this. That's fine. And then public. I don't see a public folder. Anyone see it? Oh, in here. It just wants me to get rid of the 2 little images. That's fine. Don't need that at all. Okay, cool. Delete all CSS within the index.css file. This is pretty much what I was doing before, even though this is, I didn't get to this, but that's fine. I can delete it. Doesn't change anything. And delete the count state and the JSX between the elements, between the fragment here. And I actually did the only thing I left was a paragraph saying hello world, but actually don't even need the paragraph, right? Actually, I don't even need this div since I already have one encompassing element, right? Make sure I haven't broken anything. Cool, I have my hello world up top. I can make it a little jumbo. There you go, 200%. All right, no one's lost so far, yes?
Right.
All righty. So with the lesson saying, hey, let's try to keep this as clean as possible to minimize the time we spend later trying to debug something. We'll be importing a lot of example code to build these components from Material UI because that's what it's there for. To provide us with boilerplate code, saving us time we'd otherwise spending writing out functionality ourselves, we still have to be careful not to move too fast that we're losing ourselves in unfamiliar code. And just walking through setting up the project and kind of eliminating things you don't need. It's just kind of, just best practice to kind of get familiar with what you're doing. All right, so let's start by creating a fresh new component called something like demo, because we're ultimately not going to be using this component beyond trying out components as we go. The first thing we'll want to add is a button. Take a few seconds to read through the docs so you know what to expect. We're not going to read through the docs just yet, but we'll walk through them in a little bit. Let's just keep going. Material UI components. Since we're working with React, we'll be using the term component constantly. Just remember that it applies to both the custom components that you create, such as demo, and the components built into the library. All right, so as you'll see, the documentation, you'll have to import this component before we can use it. All right, before we get into that, look at my page. I have a paragraph, right? That says hello world.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to add a button. I'm going to add a button and call it button. What am I going to have when I reload my React project? I'm going to have hello world, and underneath it, I'm going to have a what?
Button.
Button. Let's see. Yep, I got hello world, and I got a button that doesn't do anything. That's totally fine. Got a button. All right, so now we already downloaded the Material UI library. Let's use that button. Let's use the Material UI button as opposed to the one that natively comes with React. Yes?
Yeah.
All right, let's try this. I'm going to import this. Don't need that, so I'm just going to go step over it. I'm going to save. And then I'm going to copy this. And notice I'm importing button from where? From that library. So I'm just going to drop it in here, actually, and I'm going to comment this one out. That was my old React button, but you know what? I want a fancier button. I want a Material UI button, right? So that's what I'm doing on line 11. Yes?
Yeah.
Now I have access to it because I downloaded the Material UI button component, right? So if I go to JSX, I'm going to do this, and I reload this. What did you notice happened?
The button changed.
How did it change?
The design of the button or look of the button changed.
Yeah, the look at the button changed too, and it's. What do you notice down now when I go into the button? What do you notice?
It's got the hover state. It's got a hover
Yeah,
off state on there.
it has a hover on off state, and it looks like there's a shade of light blue that comes on, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it looks like as I come into the button, uh, the outline is accentuated with a darker blue, right?
Yeah.
Where's that code? If I wanted that to change instead of blue, I wanted to change to green, where would I go?
Oh yeah, so in order for that, you're going to have to go to the API and figure out how to customize that button or
It's not an API, right? It's a library.
I'm sorry, the library, yeah.
So I need to go into the library and change the library, you're telling me?
Well, you need to go to the library documentation and figure out how to go about changing that
Okay,
color for the button.
what if I wanted to do something with the button that is not in the documentation? How do I do it?
You may be able to go into the index.css and I guess you could give it an ID maybe.
But I don't want to change it with CSS. I want to change the actual source code. Where do I go?
It'll probably be in the, how are we downloading this? It would be in the node modules, I guess.
Yeah, so that source code should be in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look. There has to be this, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's look. It's here,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. And then you go
And I can go
material
MIU material
and button.
button,
Yeah.
and I go in here, right? This is the source code. This is from the library. This is code that who wrote?
Someone else.
Someone else. If I needed to edit the source, you shouldn't do this, by the way. You shouldn't do
Right.
this. But yeah, I can just go in and edit the source code. It's just code, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can go in there and actually edit it if you really wanted to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There you go. So it's in there. It's code that someone else wrote that you just downloaded. Awesome. I literally just showed you where it's at. So if you ever download other libraries, they're in there. You downloaded it. You have access to it. Don't edit the source code, but you could. The only reason that I'm asking you those questions is so you understand exactly what's happening. Okay, so this button, right, it's blue. Cool. But if that library gives me the ability, right, to change its color, it should be in its documentation. So let's look at the documentation for the API. So this is showing you how to import it. If I want to change the color green, how do I do it? Just based on this documentation right here. I'm not getting too crazy here.
And you would use the prop color.
Prop color, where's that at? Show me.
Right there, you hovering over it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then success would more than likely be a quick green color to use. Because it's, that's typically, yeah.
Okay.
Or
All right. So how do I change my code out here though?
yeah, so you add alongside variant, you can put color.
Sure.
Yeah, color equals. You might be able to put that. The palette customization guide should have a list of colors on the other page on the, yeah.
Let's do primary or success. Let's do success.
Yeah, success should be green.
What do you notice about VS Code here? It's doing what?
It's completing it for you, auto completing it.
Yeah, it's reading the library that you have and it's telling you, hey, I think you mean success here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that color should be different.
Yeah.
Right. And look at the shade as I come in, it's light green, right? With the hard green border color on the button. And that code is where?
In the node module.
Yep. That's it. That's how you use Material UI inside your React project. Questions? It's really that simple. As long as you conceptually understand, hey, this is what we're doing, that's it. I literally read this, but dude, let's just pick something. Let's do alert. There you go. Let's throw up an alert. Yeah. Let's do an alert. I'm gonna throw up an alert. Put an alert here. Hey, cool. Check if I get my alert. I guess that's what an alert is. Okay. Let's look at the documentation. Okay. You import it like this. It has colors. It can have components. What is this telling me here? I'm not reading anything. I'm literally just glossing over the documentation. If I read this here, what does this tell me that this component can do? Just saying, hey, you can have a close button or a close icon or something. If I look at what I have here, it doesn't look like I can click on it, but it might be clickable. I don't know. I've spent 2 seconds reading the documentation. I don't know, but I could play with it. Right. So that I have that option. I could change the color. Right. What is this telling you here?
There's 4 different icons.
Yeah, and I can map like success or error, right? You ever go type in a password at a place and your passwords don't match? What happens to the little input screen usually? You've done this. I know you've done this.
like goes
Yeah.
red.
Yeah, it goes red. It's probably something like that, right? It's an alert. It's telling you, hey, man, your passwords don't match. They need to match so you can change it. Yeah, probably something like that. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I just literally kind of half-assed writing this documentation, but it's not my job to read it. It's your job to read it and implement it, right? I know how it works. That's enough for me. And that should be enough for you as well. And there is a whole bunch of components that you can use. You can use a box. You can use a button. You can use a card, right? Like a modal, collapse, right? For like a hamburger menu, container, divider, forms. And there's forms controls, there's grids, there's icons, there's radio. If you don't know what radio is, let's try it. What's radio in what are the radio buttons in software? Anyone know? This is kind of a weird one. You've seen it though.
Or radio input.
Yeah, it's typically those little circles where you have to like check them. I broke this, sorry. I can't spell. Let's try that again. There you go, so little check boxes. You see that?
Yeah.
There you go, that's radio. And you can check it. Oh, I can only check it, I can't check out of it. I haven't read the docs, but I'll read how you do that. Right, you can add a little radio. And obviously these are jumbo because I have it 200%, but that would be their normal size. Cool. Alrighty, so that's how you use the components. And they have a bunch of different components, right? And this goes into wrappers, right? A button group within buttons, right? This is just like a menu. And we'll go ahead and use this here. We're going to implement this right here. You can have a bunch of different buttons inside a button group. Let's do this. Boom. I'm missing one component here. What component do I need to import? If not, it's going to complain.
Button group component.
Yeah, button group probably. Let's do it without it and see if we need it. Yeah. I don't know. This is not saying anything. You told me about my button. Cool. Then it says key following document, and then it goes into wrappers. Many built components in Material UI can quickly be wrapped in groups for easy standardization or styling properties. Think a nav bar, right? Try creating separate button groups with different variant and throw some buttons inside. Let's try this. Refresh. It's not being shown, so that tells me that this needs to be a separate component. And I am actually missing, I think, I haven't read the documentation. I'm literally just going off the dome, so this could be wrong. But this tells me that I'm probably missing a button group, and this is a button group. Group. Save. Did I have that right?
Yeah.
Yep. Again, I haven't read the documentation, but that seems to follow a pattern. So I knew it had to be something like that, right?
Mhm.
And notice that your little like nav bar buttons, whatever. Cool. Cool. You can change the color, I'm sure, all that good stuff. I think button had a property of like secondary. Let's try that. Color secondary. Right. This one, color. Let's do primary, maybe. There you go. I don't know what that is. Primary. Did I misspell primary, or am I just not
No,
smart?
you got it right. Primary is the default is primary.
Uh,
The default color is primary.
gotcha. Was warning a color? I don't even remember. Again,
Yeah.
all this could be solved if I just read the docs, but I'm just not going to.
Mhm.
Warning. Try that. Oh, there you go. Warning's orange. There you go. Yes?
Yeah.
Read the docs. They're in the docs. Alrighty, cool. Enough of that. This will show you button components or grouping components. right? Check out the difference through your local host inside your browser. That's kind of what we've been doing. And just know that you can bring in components, you can bring in groupings, you can wrap certain elements to make them like a nav bar or make them a drop down or make them a hamburger menu or, make them all a specific color. Make sense? Yes? Okay, so let's look at challenge 1. Here they're just importing a bunch of different components. Let's look at challenge 1. So challenge 1 says create a single page application that has a collapsible nav menu using the mini variant drawer. What are you going to find in the documentation for Material UI? You're going to find what to try and accomplish this task?
Gonna find where the mini drawer is.
Yeah, find the mini drawer or the nav bar or a combination of that, right? So if I go in here, the first thing I thought of, mini drawer or nav bar. Let's look. I seem to be forgetting how to spell. Okay, it doesn't seem that they have a nav bar. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. Do they have a drawer? Yeah, they got a drawer. So I would use this. Yes?
Yep.
Yep.
You're going to use this drawer to make that. There you go. Use this. Material router. What's up?
I was gonna say, is that on the library's documentation site? Is that drawer under the navigation section?
It isn't. I think I think I just went to like the main
Oh, okay.
website. And then I just went to docs.
Right. And
Material UI docs and
components. Go to
components. There you go.
and then go to navigation. Right.
I don't see it.
You want to see that? It should be components, all components. There is a navigation there, just right there. See drawer under navigation below breadcrumbs. Yeah.
Drawer.
Yeah. Okay, and then scroll down. Scroll down on the main page right there, with drawer, and you'll see mini drawer. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. There you go.
There you go. Boom. React drawer. Gonna throw this in the Slack channel. Give me 1 second. Save you about 3 seconds from looking at this stuff. There you go. In the questions channel. And Material UI documentation is actually really good. It's thorough and it shows you pictures of what it's supposed to look like, right? So you know, hey, I got it, or hey, I didn't get it, right? So guess what? Your little mini drawer is going to look exactly like this. Yeah. This is filler text. Does anyone know what this is? I don't know if anyone's ever taught you this, but I'll teach it to you right now. Index.js. You can type lorem and then what? That's not what that was supposed to do. Does this have to be a HTML file? Let me try this again, guys. Oh, I already have an HTML. All right, let's try this. Try paragraph, tag it here. There you go. Yeah. So type in lorem and then tab will give you filler text if you're curious on your HTML files. That's what this is. Just if you just need some writing, doesn't matter what it is, to test something, that's what they're doing here. So lorem tab will give you a bunch of filler text. So this will show you how it works. Thank you for that, Cisco. I was too lazy to even look for it. I figured you guys would figure it out. Yes?
Yep.
Alrighty. So here I gave you the mini lore drawer variant, and then use app bar with menu and React with documentation pages is telling you exactly where to go, right? To build a light and dark theme, to toggle authentication panel into the app bar, right? And follow through. I would try to do this right here, just build it on top of what you're building now with your two API assignment. Because this is more of this is what they call kind of like a kitchen sink assignment. Is like, hey man, we just want you to explore with Material UI because actually most of you will use this or React Bootstrap or Bootstrap to style your personal projects and the group project at the end. Yes?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that's material router. There's a second one. There's a second challenge, which I don't think you'll probably get to. But if you do, it's third-party sandbox. Let me close this out. And this one asks you to explore other third-party libraries, right? I would focus, if you actually get to this one, I would focus honestly on probably the first two, because that's probably what you're going to use. All this other stuff, I never really see it used. Is it awesome? Probably. Right? Next.js is actually really amazing too. So I would focus on these two simply because that's probably what you're going to use, that or Material UI to do the styling of your personal group project. But if you have an inkling, my next one would be Next.js because it's incredibly popular as well. The rest of the stuff I really wouldn't bother. Pick one of those three if you get to this assignment. Otherwise, I wouldn't really worry about it. I'm going to close that out. That makes sense? Stop to share questions about Material UI or third-party libraries. Anything?
Nope. Probably gonna
Nope.
have to find some questions in the work or something.
Yep. All right. So before I cut you loose and I open the breakout rooms, order of importance, completing your two API assignment. Once that's complete, I would literally just mess with that Material UI assignment on top of it. Just, hey, you already have a couple buttons, right? Throw a couple of Material UI buttons in there, style them. Okay, you understand kind of how it works. Throw on the little drawer in there.
Gotcha.
Because it doesn't really matter what you're toggling or what you're clicking on, right? As long as it's doing something. Like if they're all console log statements, fine. But if the styling is working like it's supposed to, that's kind of the main idea.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. Got you.
Alrighty, I'm gonna stop the recording here. The recording here. How is it going? How is the two API assignment going?
Where it's going.
Where are we?
Well, I've got my hold on. Where is it? Second one. Why didn't I come up over here? Hold up, but I was having a little issues with um I guess it's conditional rendering where I'm trying to make another button show up after I click a button.
Uh-huh. Yep, that happens.
So I was able to do the text with a show text. Um, and then I was trying to do a different component for the second API. So I have a show child, but for some reason, when I do that, my whole thing goes blank.
So the issue is not the multiple API calls, it's the rendering of the information from the second API.
Well, what I would like to get to that point to see if it works because I have it set up.
What do
Um,
you have set up specifically?
It'd probably just be easier to show you.
Yeah, that
Uh,
works.
So let me share my screen real quick. Which screen is it? This one. Okay. So I have my Rick and Morty API that was working. Uh, and I'm pulling in having you pick a random number and submit. It's not working right now because it goes black.
Uh-huh.
But it was working. It was pulling that. And then I'm trying to put this cocktail child in here, which basically will take the character ID and then throw it into the cocktail ID. And then it'll just be like, hey, this guy, the character's name is drinking this or some shit. Um, just something random. But I'm trying to make this only show up when after you click here. So after I have a submit here, I have a set the child true. But if I take this away, the button was there. So I have the button that says pick a random drink.
Okay, if this worked properly, how do you want the sequence of events? Show me in your GUI. How do you want it to show up if this was working properly?
So you pick a number, you hit submit, it gives you the character's name, and then it says it'll show you like is drinking, and it'll show you the button that says pick a random drink. You hit it, and then it just generates takes that character ID and gives you a drink from the cocktail DB.
Got it. Okay.
But I can't get if I take away the show child, the button was there. But I can't get the where is it? Let's see if we do it this way. There we go. See. But no, it's not working. So I'm getting there.
Okay.
So I have his name and then he's drinking and then it's like pick a random drink and then I'm trying to push the character ID in here. So what is not?
Give me a console log on that random drink. Pull up the DevTools. And when you click out, you put a console log there.
On where in here? When I pull up the drink?
When you click the random drink, get it to work. You're trying to do too many things at once. Let's tackle one problem at a time.
Okay.
Handle the submit on the pick a random drink. Just put a console log there and just say, hey, clicking cocktail drink or something like that. It doesn't even have to be spelled correctly. It doesn't matter.
Log does.
Okay, yeah. And then go to console and then refresh.
Okay, we'll refresh.
Go to console on your DevTools. Alrighty. Click pick random drink.
Uncart error assignment. Handle
All
submit.
right.
Doesn't
So stop right here.
Yeah.
What do we know already from just doing this? That the handle submit is broken, right?
Yes.
So just give it, all right, so let's fix this right now, just so it console logs something. It doesn't have to do anything. We just know that, hey, that function's actually clicking something. All right, let's fix this. Just the console log, not even what you're intending to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we fix this?
May I help?
Get rid of that. Just see if it does it.
Okay, refresh everything. Refresh everything. All righty.
Well, what?
No. I click a number first, make sure that that works, right? Because it's eventually going to use the information from the first API call, right, on that pick random drink, right?
Yes.
Okay, click on pick random drink. Okay, stop right here. We should, instead of console logging clicking cocktail drink, why don't you console log the ID that it should have pulled from the first API call? That way we know we have access to it. And then we just have to handle the fetch, right?
Okay.
Okay, Let's
Yes.
try that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what's missing on line 28? We're not going to fix this here, but what is missing on line 28 then?
I need to assign that to uh, cocktail ID. Right? No? Actually,
Kind of.
I can just throw it into character ID. Can I just use it? No, because I don't want it to run when you first get it. There.
You want it to run on a button click,
Okay, so
not on a use effect, on a button click. Keep that in mind.
okay.
So what needs to happen here?
Let me go back here.
What is the button click doing? How about that?
I have to set the cocktail ID to character. Right?
Let's try it.
Let's try a different guy. Okay, now I have a different issue. Valid JSON token.
Uncaught in promise, and that's unexpected. Dog type invalid. What is this telling you?
Invalid. Something's wrong with my JSON.
API data JSON await. Is that the issue?
No, no. I think I did. Think I forgot to change out this because I was originally trying to do it by first letter. Nope.
All right, go back to the Rick and Morty JSX line 51.
Yep.
No, in the console log. In your let's read that. It says an error occurred in the cocktail component. Consider adding an error band array to the tree. Right? That's line 51 in Rick and Morty file. Let's look at the Rick and Morty. Look at line 51. Here. Right
Yes.
here. Comment that out. We don't care about that right now.
This?
Yep, comment that out. All right, refresh everything. All right, run it. And oh, cocktail had the button in it, right?
This has a button.
This had the button. All right, go to cocktail, the actual component.
Mhm.
All right, the button is this right here.
Mhm.
Handle submit. All right, so what's the issue here? Do you know?
Is it because I have this? It's looking for character ID, but I'm giving it cocktail ID.
I'm trying to figure out why it's all this is in a use effect here.
Huh?
Why is all right? So this is the way that I see your application, right? You punch in an ID number, it gives you an image. It pings one API. Yes.
Yes.
It loads that ID in a state somewhere. Yes.
Hmm.
The drink API then makes a second API call,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
So the button handle submit should make the API call. I don't know why it's inside of a use effect.
Oh, so this can be down here.
Yes, that's your first issue. The
Okay.
use effect is going to change the GUI, but the handle submit stuff, that's just a function inside handle submit.
So I don't need that. Need it here.
Yeah, but you can comment that out or just console log in there or something for now, right?
Mhm.
Now run it. Let's see what we have here. Oh, we don't have the button.
Oh, hold on. Give me my button back.
Stay with me, class. We're going to go over this a little bit and then we'll be done here. All right, submit. Click.
Uncaught. It's not
All right,
valid.
all right, so stop right here. You need to fix this pick random drink so it console logs the information from your second API call. Yes?
Yes.
Once you have that, then you can figure out how to populate your GUI. And once you have that, you can figure out the conditional rendering of the button in that order.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right, you can stop sharing. Thank you, Nicole. That was actually a great exercise. Anyone else? Adam, Cisco, where are you guys at? Art?
You know, since I missed last Tuesday, I was just working on last Tuesdays.
Art,
building
you're
out day
sick too,
one.
dude?
Yeah, I missed Tuesday. I don't think I had COVID. I think I got flu or something. But
Getting me sick.
No worries.
but
Yeah.
I'm
All righty. Yeah, hang in there, dude. It seems like everyone's sick. Cisco, where you at?
I am nowhere. I am actually trying to implement a second API. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, dude. I'm
Okay.
listening.
Yeah, I'm trying to implement a second API that kind of goes with the first one that I had, and I'm just troubleshooting that and getting that going. So currently really nowhere where I haven't really gotten anywhere where I want to have anything to share, I guess is what I'm trying
Okay.
to say. So
All righty.
I do have the material stuff pretty much, already down. And
All righty. We'll touch base with you later and you can kind of show us some material UI stuff. Yes?
okay, yeah.
All righty. Just the last thing that I wanted to kind of discuss before I cut you loose to work again on your own or in pairs if you want is the two API calls. I think Nicole's is a really good example of, hey, we make this API call and then something happens, a component renders on the GUI, and then we make another API call. That's one way to do it. You could also do what?
Make one API call all together and have them both.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Two APIs and make one API call to get the data for both APIs.
There you go. Okay, so that's what I wanted to kind of discuss before we break out again. Nicole's approach is fine. That's one way to do it. But there is another use case where, hey, you just want one button and you need information from two different endpoints. So you daisy chain the API calls. It's just a fetch, right? It's an async function, right? You await the data from the first API and then you send it with the second API. And then the only return statement is when both of the API calls have finished. So that's two API calls in just one async function. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because the first API call is going to resolve itself. And the second API call has to wait until the first API call resolves itself. So it has the information it needs, right? And the entire function will wait until both API calls are resolved and return to the user the information that it wants. Could you daisy chain 3 or 4? Yes, you could. Typically, you don't see that because it's too expensive of a call. What does that mean?
Well, is it the processing that it's using, or the yeah, I guess it could be too intensive for the CPU, the memory.
Yeah, but it's also for the user, right? It's going to take a really long time.
Yeah.
All right. So Ideally, you want to be as efficient as you possibly can with your API calls because they are expensive, all of them. All right, but sometimes you do need to daisy chain two calls together, right? And that's perfectly fine. That can be one function, doesn't necessarily have to be two. Make sense? The last thing that I want to leave you with is to make something really simple is actually really hard to do. To make something really complicated is easy. Now that's really counterintuitive, but that statement is holds true in a lot of disciplines, right? But especially in software engineering, right? It's easy to write a bunch of functions, a bunch of use states, a bunch of use effects all over your code, right? And have it work. But your data is all over the place. Things are really complicated. It's really hard to maintain, right? But it's really hard to streamline everything, right? Have one dictionary holding the state of your entire application where it's just changing certain key value pairs, right? And you have these anonymous functions that take in the parameters that they need to do whatever they need to do, make API calls or manipulate or run arithmetic or whatever the case may be, right? So writing really concise, efficient code is actually really hard, but that's ultimately the goal of every software engineer, right? It's just less code is always better, less bugs, right? I remember a while ago, I told you guys that like if you can import a bunch of libraries and have them do all the heavy lifting, it's way better because it's easier to maintain, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to maintain it. You just have to maintain the small pieces of glue that you created for your company. That's a hell of a lot easier. It's a lot easier to update a dependency than go in there and to rewrite your own library. That's way harder. All righty. That's all I had for you. Keep going. I'll open the breakout rooms. I'm going to stop the room back. I'm going to start the recording. How do we do?
Did all right. I mean, I got the mini drawer going, but
Can you show us, Cisco?
yeah.
Walk us through your mini drawer. That's okay if there's some bugs on it. So
This is what I was able to quickly implement. What I wanted to do was actually I just wanted to make two navigational items to where one, this like click on one and it would open up and show this component here. Basically, for each nav item, you click on the link and then it'll show different components that you have within the React app. And this one, what I had planned on doing was having this one open up this React dice bar image component, and then click on the other one that shows the other APIs component, um, you know, based off of the data that I use to create the avatar. And I was just gonna use like a color palette API. It basically took the colors and then you click on the other link and you could see the color palettes that was derived from this image. But yeah, so essentially I got the mini drawer and stuff going. Just making those I was looking at making those connections to actually create these nav items that would route to each component and show each component. The way I implemented it was just pretty simple. I, just simply created a mini drawer component and, use much of the code that was in the example to create that. So, but since the material UIs, I got to dissect it and figure out how to make the nav items connect to the drawers or the boxes where the content is going to be placed in, and shown. So
That's the hardest part, exactly what you're describing,
mhm,
right? Those drawers displaying the correct components when they're
mhm,
clicked on, right?
yeah, yeah,
So you can see how the integration piece is a little tricky, right? That's probably the hardest thing to figure out here, especially when you have different layers of nesting, right?
mhm,
Because you have the top nav bar, you have the drop down to the hamburger menu, and in there you can have two or three other nestings as well, right?
right, yeah.
Alrighty. Very good, Cisco. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else get that far? It's okay if you didn't.
Not quite.
Nicole, were you ever to, thank you, Adam. Nicole, were you able to get that second API going?
So I had to go to a different one because what I realized is apparently Cocktail DB has a very random way to number their cocktails. So I did get it working, but it wasn't returning anything.
The
So
second API call?
yeah, so like it was working, but like it wouldn't return anything because like I could not figure out where the start and the finish were for the IDs. Like it started at like 11007 or something.
Got it. You could have hard coded it to an ID that you knew temporarily, right?
Oh, well, I kind of changed it a little bit and I got the jokes working. So
Can you
well,
show us?
yeah. I got it half working. Um because the other half of what I'm trying to do didn't work. Where is it? There it is. So this is what I got over here. So I changed it to what does it have to say, and then I think my odd one works. So you get this, the name, and it tells you a joke. Um, so what I did is instead I left this name cocktail just because, but I did if it's even, if the character ID is even, it was supposed to give you an insult, and if it was odd, it was going to tell you a joke. But I keep getting a CORS error with evil insult.
Gotcha. But basic functionality works. This is kind of what you were going for.
So yeah, it does the thing. I didn't get it to clear out though because but yeah, when I try to do an even number, it gives me a CORS error. So I just went.
Strange.
So then I just went and got yeah, because I can hit it with Postman too. So um I don't know. Is it because I'm missing? Copied this right off their website. Nope.
Very good, though. I'm glad that you got it to work.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so I
Good
just
job.
went skip to this one. So yeah.
Very, very good. I see you got rid of that second use effect.
Yes. Yes, I did. I
Good
just put
job.
it here. And then I conditionally rendered whatever one it was based on the if else.
Perfect. Yeah, that works. Awesome. Awesome. How far did you get, Adam?
It was just the second API call. I think we're having this, like kind of a similar problem where like it was in there, it just wasn't calling, I guess.
Do you have it loaded up by chance?
Actually, we're working together on that. I have mine loaded up.
Yeah. Can you
You know,
show us,
I
Art?
was yeah, I was kind of trying to do a cheat on it though. Let me see.
There's no cheat. If you would need to hard code something temporarily to kind of figure out where the issue is, that's totally fine.
Well, I guess when I say cheat, what I was trying to do is like instead of pulling from two different APIs, I was pulling from the same API but from different folders.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so let me see. Where's my yeah, so like I was calling one dog and one robot, and I'm pulling from the same API, but it's not showing the second image under robot. It's gonna be a dog, but just so I could see the difference. I couldn't get that second image going.
All right. So is it two different calls? It's the fetch dot. All right. Show. Yeah. Walk us through that.
Yeah, so and the other thing, yeah. But like see it's not giving me any errors. So I didn't know what to fix.
Okay. So what's instantiating the first API call?
It's this section here.
So it's just a refresh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my buttons aren't refreshing anything.
Okay. So when do you want to fetch the second picture, the robot picture?
Actually I wanted them to pull at the same time.
Okay. Are you console logging the data on robot anywhere? So it
Oh
seems
yeah.
like, yeah, it seems like you only have, like you commented out the second API call. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, because it breaks. It breaks whenever I put this back in there. So so I'm just kind of going through. But like this arrow, Guillermo, this seems too vague. I didn't know what to do with that. It says like just error aborted 500.
It's just means it's a syntax error.
Oh,
You see that on line 46, you're getting a squiggle right there. VS Code is trying to help you out. I would ping two different APIs. Pinging the same random dog API kind of gets confusing. I would just hard code like the Pokemon Pikachu API and pull a Pikachu image and a dog image to make sure that, hey, you're pulling both. That's where I would start. This seems very confusing,
okay.
especially when the random dog can be random and it's both called on the refresh. Just ping the Pokemon
Oh,
API, two completely different ones, so you know, hey, we should be getting two different sets of data that are very different that I can't confuse. I would start there.
gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Alrighty. Really the last thing I want to go over, guys, is this nav bar or mini drawer or any variation of something that you liked, that you tested, that you worked with today. I would copy that code over to your personal project and find a way to utilize it, right? So anything that you think is super cool or like a UI element that you want to reuse, go ahead and move it to your personal project folder right now and implement it in a way. Like if you develop like a cool nav bar on one of these assignments or something that you want to reuse, or you really liked how something rendered or this conditional logic was great, start copying it over to your personal project and just put dummy values in there for now. And then you can just come in and swap it out later. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And if you have like a hamburger menu that has 6 items, but your project only ends up using 3, then you could just remove 3. Right?
Mhm.
It's way easier when you already have everything implemented and it's more of a copy paste edit than it is building it from scratch all over again. Yes.
Yep.
The other thing I would suggest is you do that the same thing with your API calls, right? With try catches in them and good error logging. Once you actually develop that, you can just copy and paste it everywhere.
Right.
You don't have to start it from scratch. And so far, I haven't seen a really awesome try catch API call yet, but there is time. We'll see one. And when I see one in your code, I'll point it out, or we'll build one out the next time we see it. We'll build out a really good one that you can just copy, paste, and reuse. And we'll break it down line by line why this is a good way to do it.
Mhm.
Yes?
Yep.
And the reason for that, I don't want to get too like deep into it, but once you get into real software engineering, depending on the APIs that you're pinging, there will be rate limits. I'll give you a real world example. Someone had in a project that I was just recently on, someone had not implemented proper logging on an S3 bucket. So there at one point there was 125 million elements. in that bucket. And you can't
Mm.
actually delete a bucket until it's empty. Okay, so you delete it. And WS, there's lifecycle policies where, yeah, you can delete everything after, X amount of time. So you set a delete for a day to try to see if you can empty the bucket and delete it and rebuild your application. The problem is there was versioning enabled in the bucket, and the lifecycle policies doesn't allow you to empty it with a lifecycle rule or policy. So what ended up happening, had to manually empty that bucket. I wrote a little script that deleted elements one at a time. The problem was AWS limits us to 1,000 elements per API batch delete. How long did it take to empty 125 elements from an S3 bucket? 6 days. Sometimes you'll have rate limiting on APIs you're trying to ping, right? So being incredibly conscious on how you're calling them and if they have retries or they have good logging is actually really, really important. Because sometimes your application will break and you don't know what happened. Sometimes your code didn't change, just the rate limits changed on the third party side, which you're going to have to account for.
Gotcha.
That was kind of a long-winded example of why that's important, but that's just one use case, right? There's a bunch of other use cases, right? There's other use cases that I don't want to get into. They get a little bit more technical where you open a connection to a third-party service, but you can't have more than, let's say, 10 connections open at a time. And if your application tries to make more, it'll break. Right? They'll try to open 20 connections, but the limit's 10. You didn't know that. It's going to break your application.
Yeah.
Right? Or it's going to crash the server if the server can't handle it. And that server could be someone else's server, or it can be an internal server for an internal application that you guys are using. Does all that kind of make sense a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have to understand all of that right now, but just know that there is a method behind the madness, right? And having these try catches with good logging is really good practice because eventually you're going to deal with really hairy problems that involve a lot of this. Yes?
Yeah.
All righty, guys. That's all I have for you. If you didn't finish that 2 API call assignment, I definitely would work on that because that's like a fundamental piece of your personal project and your group project. You're gonna have to do that and like string together APIs to make your application work. So that's like a really functional exercise. If you didn't finish it, I suggest you take a little bit of time tomorrow. Today, no, it's been a long day, but tomorrow after work, you give it another shot. Yes?
Yeah. I got a question for you, Guillermo.
Mhm.
Saturday, are we doing anything special on Saturday?
Saturday is going to be a brutal day. We're going over React Router.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be tough. So make sure your tray tables are in the upright and locked position.
All right.
Why is that, Cisco? You might have to miss.
Yeah, I might have to miss. I don't know
Okay.
for sure yet.
Yeah, no worries. Definitely watch the recording, but it's a tough lesson. It's probably, man, I would argue probably the toughest React lesson.
Okay.
Oh, geez. Well, I will be on a plane on Saturday.
What was that, Nicole?
I'm going to be on a plane on Saturday.
Okay.
I'll see if I have internet though.
Dude, so I try to do work on airplanes all the time. Sometimes it's spotty. It really just depends.
I'll see if it works because if so, it's a pretty long flight. So
For sure. All right, guys. Definitely get ready for Saturday. Don't get scared. We'll walk through it pretty slowly. That's all I have for you. Definitely give that 2 API call a shot again if you didn't complete it. Have a wonderful night, guys.
All right. Everyone do the same. Thank you.
Bye.